Hey guys, it's Will, Lamb Sauce, whatever you prefer. I wanted to talk about a couple of things, just as a honesty exercise and vulnerability thing. I do not like my body. I never really have. I've always been disappointed by it for a myriad of reasons. One of the things I wanted to do is just kind of admit to that and by saying that I'm wearing a tank top and commonly known as a wife beater, and I love these, and I'll only wear them around the house around my wife's friend who's coming to visit me in less than 2 weeks, and I'm super excited about that. Wait, that was 4. Yeah, 2. The reason I don't like to wear these is because it's very obvious all of my fat, including my bat wings that move. I've always had these to some extent. They've been smaller, but from going up and down in weight, the skin's just really jacked. This will definitely be one of the areas I have loose skin in forever and ever. Right now it still has fat in it, but I'll have to have skin removal surgery if I want to get rid of that, and I know that. That's one thing. Another thing that I'm not really happy about with my body is I have gone bald. I shaved my head. I am balding. I'm not completely bald. I do shave my head, but this area right here has such little hair that it doesn't really matter. It's very easy to shave that part. It's the back that's usually thicker. I joke that as I get older, I must have really bad breath because all my hair is, inching toward the back of my scalp and my back. Another thing I wanted to talk about, number 2, being honest, is that on Friday night, I was cooking dinner for my wife, and I did decide to eat. Now, I'm supposed to only have Opti-Fast products, so eating anything is definitely off program. This is the first time I've actually eaten anything that wasn't on that list of free foods. I did have a couple of pickles prior to this, but this was the first time I had actual food. What I was making was a vegetable Alfredo. It did involve things like butter and cream and cheese and spinach and garlic and broccoli. Now, it was absolutely delicious, and it's something that I would eat whether I could eat anything in the world or if I was on a restricted diet. It's really, really good. I had only made it once or so before, and I put chicken in it for my wife, but Friday night I didn't have any chicken. I hadn't baked anymore or prepared it yet for Kelly, so it was just an Alfredo with some vegetables, and I did decide to eat a bowl of it. It is not anything I plan to repeat anytime soon, and why I decided to eat it was a little weird. I knowingly did it. It wasn't a sneak attack. It wasn't that I got really weak all of a sudden and was like, oh my god, I must have food. I knew I was making it for Kelly, and when I started making it, I told myself I wanted to eat it. And then I told myself that if I still wanted to eat it when it was done, then I would. That I would only have one serving, and that I wouldn't do it again. I wouldn't have food again for a while. So I did cook everything. I got it ready. I took a break before we ate it to let it cool some. So gave myself another chance to decide I didn't want it. But I did want it. I wholeheartedly wanted to eat that. And so eating it was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And I didn't have any guilt over it. And I made that decision too, prior. I even told my wife, I guess you call it accountability, but I told her, I'm going to eat this and I'm not going to regret it. I'm not going to feel guilty for it. I'm not going to beat myself up for it. I'm going to eat it. I won't consume any more product for the rest of the evening because I had been doing my shakes and bars up to then for the Opti-Fast. I'm going to eat this, and then that'll be it. I'll just have water for the rest of the evening, and that's exactly what I did. I was expecting to pay for that, especially with the spinach and the broccoli. That's a lot of fiber. And then, of course, the cream and butter and cheese, that's heavy. And yet I didn't pay for it insofar as it didn't make me sick. I didn't have any problems with it, digesting it. I felt great. that night. I felt great the next morning. Next morning, I went, Saturday morning, woke up, drank my shakes, ate my bars, haven't had anything since. There are some people in my group who've talked about eating and have said that as you get on with your weight loss, and I know I'm just starting, but I'm just repeating what was in the group because I do think it's applicable. They said that, there comes a point, sometimes you call it plateauing or whatever you want to call it, but you reach a point where your body is just very used to what you're doing. And so it's important to give yourself kind of a reboot at that point. So they did say that, yeah, you eat something. And our group leader, John, didn't disagree. He was like, sometimes you have to shock your system. That's just the way it is. So I don't think that 3.5 weeks into this, I needed to shock my system. I am losing. I'm just beginning to lose. Just the beginning of this journey. But I think that it was good for me. And I don't have any regrets about it.